Hi everyone, my name's Mick Munton. I'm going to be doing a painting of Otley for you. We're up here on top of the chevin and we're going to be painting this lovely view that you can see behind us there. This is the view which I'm going to be painting today for you all, and what a wonderful view it is. I'm a Yorkshireman at heart and I love the Yorkshire Dales, and this is a beautiful place to be painting on the chevin. Just a little quick look over my shoulder and you can see how beautiful it is behind where I've been painting. All of the chevin is beautiful. From up here you can see everywhere in Otley. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right then, what we've got is we've got a pre-stretched canvas which I've already primed beforehand. We've let that dry and then I've just gone over the whole canvas with a small amount of liquid white up here, and then I've put a little bit of linseed oil just over the base, just over the bottom of the painting. So we're going to go straight into it. Let's do it. It's a really nice blue sky there today, so I'm just going to run my brush into some blue paint. This has already got liquid white on it, as you can see. It's stained already, so the white will mix with the blue automatically. I'm just going to tap that into the bristles of the brush until I get it to the sort of brightness that I'm desiring. Tap the bristles straight down into the paint. As you can see there, it's stained the brush. So what we're going to do now, we'll probably get a few insects today, but we'll survive. I'm just going to do some little crisscross strokes in the sky with this lovely blue colour. Just up in there. Just by using little crisscross strokes we do that. And then as we do this, it gets lighter and lighter because it's mixing with the liquid white. It gets lighter and lighter towards the horizon. Now, I want quite a bit of sky on this, so I'm going to blend it quite a bit down. Crisscross strokes in there. Now we've got some air traffic above, but that's fine if you don't mind. Blend that down really soft. You see, if you put a bit more pressure on, the colour will still keep coming all the way. And then just down there, see how it starts off darker above and then gets lighter lower. Just keep doing this. I want a really even spread with this blue. Getting a few little things on, don't worry about that. We're going to get a few flies and stuff like that coming today, so we'll have to just play with it and not worry about it. Put a bit more of that colour just down at the horizon, just there. That's great. So while I've got this colour on the brush, I'm going to just tuck a little bit of Prussian blue. Prussian blue is a darker blue, just like that there. So I'm going to tap into that. And then we're going to use this just in the top corners. Prussian blue is much darker. So I'm just going to go into the very top edges with that. That'll help to take your eye into the centre of the painting. Just in there, like so. Get any hairs on, you can just knock them off. All the time this blue is actually mixing with the liquid white, just like I want. Step back, I want a little bit more colour just down in here for the sky, so I'm just going to drag a bit of that blue down and then blend it out. That'll give us a nice balance. Lovely day today up here, it's beautiful, really nice and sunny, as you can probably tell from the shadows. But that's a good thing when you're painting, you know, you want some really nice shadows on there. It's a very good thing is that. I'm more shadows and everything you can get in your trees, the more depth the trees will actually have. Very good, I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to mix a small amount of crimson, which is a red, just a very small amount of crimson in with that, just there, with that blue. The reason I'm doing this is because I just want to put a bit of this lavender colour. It's like a lavender mauve colour just on the horizon. There's like a haze or a fog. So I just want to get that fog in. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to gently pump. You can see where the hills roll. So just in front of them, just on top of where the hills roll, I'm just going to put a small amount of this colour. Now you're going to look at that and you're going to think, whoa, that's miles too strong. It's not like that. But wait a minute, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and blend this out. I'll put a little bit up in the sky, just up in there. Now I'm going to come back to my blender brush, my Big Bertha blender brush, and I'm just going to whisk and mix that. If you get a hair, don't worry about it. Just use little crisscross strokes. Hey, I got 3 then. It is a new brush, so we can handle that again. There's no worries. Hairs are just something you have to deal with in painting. Just really want that to be soft in there. Pull that, we can actually pull the paint, you see, look at that. Actually pull it. So that's the little haze that we've got just above the horizon. It's beautiful. And that's all that we need for that sky. That is it. Basic, very basic. Now I'm just going to use a little round brush, and I can see up there that there's some really lovely distant hills. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this lavender colour in here. And I'm going to put some hills just in the very background, just over here. So we're talking about here. And then they go up, and then back down. These are quite distant, these are quite far away. Right then, I'm just going to go in here and carry on doing these little hills. Some little rolling hills that are up there. Now they're very, very subtle are these, and soft. So I'm just concentrating on the top edge. So all I'm really concentrating on at the moment is that lovely top edge. And then that goes down and then through there like so. And then what I can do is I can just blend it out at the base, just there. That's cool. In fact, that can go a bit further actually go off the canvas can this, just there. But again, I want it to be pretty subtle. I'll be getting a nice zoom in of this afterwards, so you can see this really close. Right then, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use the same colours that's on the brush, but I'm going to go into some burnt sienna. And the burnt sienna will mix with the blue and that I've put on, and it will give me a lovely, a really, really nice colour for this hill, which is just up in here. And it's like a browny reddy colour, just in there. Blend that out. It's all moorland and stuff you see is this, so it's really beautiful. And then that falls off. It actually goes right up to there. So I'll just block that in underneath there and put some colour in. Again, I'm only concentrating on the top edge. It's the top edge that I'm really concentrating on. Now, once you've got a bit of that colour in there, like I have there, what I generally do is I'll go back to my lavender colour, which is the crimson and the blue. Just use the crimson and the blue there, mix them together. Prussian's a dark blue, so I'm going to use that. Make a little lavender colour, and then with that lavender colour I just want to go on the very top edge of that. There, and make it a bit darker. Now these are proper rolling hills of these. There we go. Now I'm just going to blend some of this back. Just in there. It's a lovely colour is this that you get on these hills. They're absolutely beautiful. Just got a little fly up there. Can just whip that off with no worries at all. Go back to a clean brush and just blend that out. No problem. Right then, I'm just having a look at what I've got there. Now then, what happens here now is I'm just going to use a bit of green, a tiny bit of green with that colour. Just a small amount of green with it, because as this comes from here, it starts to go and turn into fields and stuff like that. So we need a little bit of the green colour in there, and that's the separator basically, to separate this background from this midground. Blend that in there. These moorlands are absolutely gorgeous at this time of year, they're beautiful. I'm going to get a tiny bit more sap green on my brush with that. Now you'll see the green come into play a bit. There. That's what I'm after. Lovely. Don't matter, a bit of the other colour comes into it as well. I know you're thinking this green is not very green, but it will be. It's got to be subtle in the background, and then it'll get brighter in the foreground, you see. Just going to put some of that colour in for these fields. And these fields go right underneath here as well. To about there. So I'm going to get a load more of this colour, because these fields go right along, you see. You go right along here, so I know that I'm going to need some of that green in there. You notice though that it's just not straight green, there's a lot of the other colours that we used on the hill mixed in with that as well, you see. There we go. Beautiful colours on this. There we go. That's good. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to mix another lavender colour, the same as I did before, just straight lavender, which is the blue and the crimson together. I'm going to tap into that, and I'm just going to get a tiny bit of brown as well, maybe. Sorry, tiny bit of brown in with that as well. Want it to be good and dark. Well, not good and dark, but darker than what's back there. It's predominantly blue, but there's a multitude of colours in there. So then what we do is we're just going to come onto the top edge here. Very gentle. And I'm just going to tap in an area where there's some trees just growing on the top of there. There's a little standard tree just out there. There's another little standard tree just on the top of the hill. Reload. Just on the very top of the hill there, there's some little trees. Very distant though, they're very, very far away. Very far. And then I'm going to have to just keep mixing this colour up, because it's running out all the time, you see. Now just in here there's a big stand of trees, like I say, just in here, so bring these trees actually into the landscape where these fields are, back here. A little bit too blue for me is that, so I'm going to put a tiny bit of green in with it as well. You have to get the balance right, just put a tiny bit of green with that to make it suit. Yeah, that's much better. And all on here, just tap that. They're just all trees. distant trees all growing in there. Right then, just over here we've got another load of trees. You notice I've left some lighter areas and stuff like that. Very important to do that, very important. I'm going to blast some of that colour in there and then tap it out. It can be pretty brutal when you're doing this because I need to get the paint on there, and then once the paint's on there I can tap it out like this. And by tapping it, it mixes with the liquid white and instantly gets lighter in tone. Right then, again, reload, and then just up in here I can see a load of trees and stuff like that, so I'm just going to put a few little individual standing trees. Maybe just a little stand of trees there that's far away. Now I'll show you something that you can do. Clean brush, see this colour that I've got on here? I can actually pull and make it look like the grass is growing underneath the trees. Chop the bottom of the trees off more or less and sit them in the field. We're going to put some lines and stuff in here where the walls and the hedgerows and stuff like that are. But just for now I just want to get this dark in for these trees. I just want to show you the colour I'm using. I'm using the lavenders in with a bit of green, basically. That's all that I'm doing. I'm using blue, crimson and sap green together, and that's it for all this. And the sap green is crucial. Right, and then we've got a load of trees just growing up the side here. Just in there, little standard trees, and then there's one in front. There we go. This colour will get darker the further down we actually come as well. So now back in here I actually don't want to paint individual. I'm just going to put some little lines in and stuff like that, because these trees grow like in lines, standard trees, and all I'm doing is just getting a bit of something in there that looks like some little trees and stuff that are growing way off in a distance. Then I'm just tapping them out, pulling them now and again and playing with them, just taking the bottom off them basically, and them shadows all look nice. Starting to kick up a little bit now, but when you're painting wild places like this you've got to expect a bit of wind, part of nature. There we go. There's some lovely trees over in here as well. What I can actually do, I'm just going to use the clean brush again. I'm just going to touch this colour up here so I pick some up on the brush, and then I'm going to actually pull down just there and drag some of that colour in front of these trees, just there. And that looks like a little stand of trees that's sat separate then. Just in there. And then what I can do, go back to my other brush, get the dark one again, and then come in front of that. Just there in front of it. And then that's a little field there. going to get some good darking because there's a lot of dark trees in the middle ground. Green. Just over here I'm going to stick a bit of green in now, in with this colour. All I'm doing is just scrubbing it in there, allow it to mix with the liquid white, just in there. And then we could put some highlights on top of these and make it into fields and stuff again. That's all this is, it's just fields and all sorts of things. All the time I'm having to keep looking at what I'm actually painting as well. It's so important that. Right, now it's getting very dark down in here. Very, very dark. See, I'm still using a small brush, but I could probably get away with using quite a big brush doing this. Using these lovely blue tones though, it makes it look far away. You know, all the blue tones that we've got in the background and everything, it all makes all this sit back. Because when I've done, I'll probably go over a lot of this with a big blender brush and just soften it all out. Right then, I'm just going to get a little bit of brown with that same colour, because you know it wants to be quite a bit darker. Right, now there's some fields here. I just want to mark these fields off where I'm going to have these fields. Just in there. So what I'm doing, I'm putting the dark in for these fields, knowing that I don't want to come below that, basically. I want to stay above it if I can. See, now I'm just tapping all these colours out. These are so far away, these trees, that all you get is a big area of dark, basically. So as long as you get that right, it'll work fine and it'll look beautiful. Same in there. This is one thing that the alla prima technique is good for, you see. Painting outside. You know, if you've got a sunset there, you can capture it straight away. Generally with oils, when you're doing it in a traditional way, you have to let them dry and stuff like that, so it makes it a lot harder to do stuff like this. Take that out to that field. Now then, I'm going to come back to my green. Now I'm going to put a little bit of yellow with the green as well this time to brighten it up slightly, because I know that we've got some fields down in here, you see. So all I have to do is just scrub some of that yellow in. Beautiful. Now we don't want them all the same yellow, sorry, we don't want them all the same green, these fields. We want some different colours, so I'm going to do that one in the green, and I'm going to do another one just down here that's going to be in the green. Bit more of the blue with that though, but that's great. And then just going to touch some yellow ochre and make a green with yellow ochre. And by varying the colours, I'll just show you. By varying the colours, what you do, see that's got a different hue to it. It's more to the ochre side. It makes it look so nice. You've got that variation in there. Very important is that. Blending all that out. See, I know where I want these trees to be, so when I'm planning them out, I'm always working out how the fields are going and everything like that, you see. Right then, I'm just going to come in between these fields I'm going to put a stand of trees in, little stand of trees, just in between, just in there. I'm just putting these in with the lavender colour and a bit of green, sap green. Just tap that out. Just there. Always looking at what you're painting as well. There's a few trees just stood on their own. Put them just in there like so. As we're getting a bit closer now, you see. And then they all go right up there and meets up with these over here. Just got a little hair there, just pull that off and then put it back on again. There we go. Just gonna keep referring